Hi there, Andy Ron here with Montana Land Source, and this is the video summary of the Montana Land Report for January 25th, 2023. Regular viewers of these reports will know that I haven't made a video since late November of 2022. That's because I took an opportunity to travel and work abroad for the month of December and much of January. It's great to be back home. Traveling really makes you appreciate living in the U.S. and Montana specifically. So I'm very glad to be home and glad to be back to making videos. However, I'm not sure moving forward whether I will continue to make weekly videos or not. I'm leaning towards maybe doing them on a monthly basis. It can be difficult to come up with topics on a weekly basis for the Montana land market, which does not move and change that rapidly. So I'm leaning towards more like a monthly or perhaps quarterly report and try to put maybe more production quality into these videos and more information and whatnot. So if you have feedback on that for me, I'm open to that, but we'll just see moving forward. Coming back to Montana, the big story so far moving into 2023 is similar to 2022, which just is extreme restriction of supply in the market. Today we're down to 301 listings. Before 2020, we were used to more like 600-700 listings at any one time on the Montana land market. During the month of December 2022, we actually dipped below 300 listings, which has never happened since we've been tracking this data for at least the last 10 years. Less than 300 properties on the market in the Montana land market. So this environment of just restricted supply seems to just be continuing. There still is demand, prices are holding and even increasing in some scenarios and situations, but just extremely restricted supply. I'm going to go ahead and plug the For Land Sakes presentation, which is coming up March 7th in Bozeman, Montana. This presentation has been going on for over 20 years. Appraisers such as myself get together and put together an in-depth presentation on the Montana land market. It's the must-attend event for rural real estate industry professionals to find out about the market. It's the one time that a handful of us appraisers really roll up our sleeves and really put together some analysis on both what happened in the past year and also look forward into the year coming up. And I'll share more about that event at the end of this video. But this week in the Montana land market, we had a total of 24 property updates, which is pretty typical and a pretty healthy number of property updates for 1 week. 4 new listings, 6 price changes, 5 properties back on the market, 5 pending sales, and 4 sales. So pretty balanced overall. Quite a few price changes. That's reflecting maybe some changes in the market as far as adjusting pricing to get prices to get properties moved. 4 new listings is a pretty low number of new listings, and of course doesn't change or help or affect the inventory situation in the Montana land market. So that's the update for this week. As far as other things that are news or of interest, there's a new map app that we're really close to rolling out on Montana Land Source. Regular users will know that we have a dynamic map on Montana Land Source that shows all listings and sales and pendings and whatnot in map form. We have a new version coming out. Feedback on the beta version is available for viewing. You can find that at mtlandsource.com. But we're about to roll into making that beta the final version. Some of the best improvements with this new version are breaking out sales into a couple categories by time so that new sales show as its own category, which is going to make it much easier to track and stay on top of new and current sales activity. And also there's a new layer showing ownership, so large ranches and whatnot, which will be very handy for monitoring the situation in the Montana land market as well. Also, the event I mentioned, the For Land Sakes presentation, which is actually part of a larger event called the Winter Real Estate Roundup. The overall event goes from March 7th to March 9th in Bozeman, Montana. Hopefully this week, the actual schedule and the actual courses we will be releasing. It's continuing education for appraisers and real estate agents and brokers. It really is the must attend event for rural real estate industry professionals in Montana. It knocks out almost all the continuing ed credits needed for your annual certifications. And it's just the time of the year when the most professionals and most expertise are in the room at the same time. For land stakes presentation, one thing that's really exciting about that is we're bringing in some professors and researchers from MSU to contribute to that. Historically, this presentation, which is given by appraisers, has focused on hard numbers on the market, which is very valuable, of course, and the only time of the year when that information is really available. But bringing in these MSU researchers, they have done academic research on ownership dynamic changes, which has been very dynamic in the Montana land market going back at least a decade. So bringing them in, I think, will sort of fill in the picture as far as the social and cultural and economic changes that contribute to the ownership dynamic changes in the market. So I'm excited about that addition to for land stakes presentation. And then again, the rest of the 2 days includes other continuing ed courses and just good networking and, like I said, bringing most of us together that are in the industry. I'm looking forward to being part of that. And then lastly, the Montana Farm and Ranch Brokers, we have a meeting coming up. We always meet the first Thursday of the month at 8 o'clock, I think it is, here in Billings, but it's also available on Zoom. And this month's meeting will be Deb Stephenson from Bozeman, who is a water rights expert and water rights appraiser. So she's giving a brief presentation on the valuation of water rights. It's always really interesting to hear from Deb and hear about water rights, which are so important in Montana. So this is the report for this week. Thanks everybody. Like I said, I'm glad to be back, and thanks for all the support and feedback from all you, and keep it coming. You can find us at mtlandsource.com as well as on Facebook and LinkedIn. Thank you and have a good week.